David from Sky, where are you? Have you got your hand up? Right, I've found you. David.
Yes, hello, can you hear me? I was trying to find my hand.
No worries. Got you.
Ryan, nice to see you. I realise you've been asked quite a lot about this over the last couple of weeks, but in the last 24 hours, in the last hour, a new interview with Harry Kane has been released. Given what we've heard from that interview, can you offer any reassurance, or do you believe that the Leicester game will be Harry's final game in a Tottenham shirt?
No, in terms of the interview, I know something's been published, but I've not listened to it. I've not watched it. I've not heard anything because I've been out on the training pitch. I've been preparing for a game at the weekend, so it's a game that's important for us. We need to win. We're going to go there to win, and Harry's going to be part of that as well. So they're the only comments I have on it, to be honest.
Just reflecting on your own career as well for a moment. Obviously, your playing career ended early, and perhaps you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve as a player. Can you therefore understand a fellow player when he says that he doesn't want to end his career with any regrets at all?
No, of course. No player wants to end their career with regrets. I don't think any human being likes having regrets either. So it's normal. It's normal. I think if you speak to any player in the world, they'll probably say the same. So like I've said before, my attention, and I know every player's attention, is on the weekend. And then the summer is the summer. Next season's next season. But at the moment, the only conversations that I've had or that we'll be having will be about the game at the weekend with not only Harry, but also every other player in the squad as well.
If he manages to score maybe one or two over the weekend, it might add a few more million perhaps onto a price tag. He mentioned in this interview about £100 million, and that might be his peak value. He says that perhaps that won't get any higher over the next couple of years. But from your point of view and from what you've seen of Harry, do you think that his stock can rise still further?
I think, first of all, I hope Harry scores a couple at the weekend, because I think his performances this season have warranted the Golden Boot. I think he's the best player in the Premier League. He's got the most assists, and hopefully from an individual point of view, he gets a Golden Boot as well. And in doing that, he helps Tottenham Hotspur get 3 points at the weekend. That's the most important thing. I can't speak on transfer value and people's stock and all that, because in football, things change so quickly. So at the moment, Harry's a Tottenham player, and he's going to be involved at the weekend. And like I said, hopefully he can win the Golden Boot.
Okay, David, can we move it on, please? Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Looking ahead then to the weekend, have you seen any extra motivation? I mean, with the background of Harry's situation, but also your situation as well. It's the last game that you'll be in charge of. Have you noticed any extra motivation after the Villa game?
No extra motivation. Wednesday night was disappointing. It was massively disappointing for us to lose, and then also the manner in which we lost as well. I think it makes it very difficult to take. We have to bounce back. We've been in positions where you have to try and get over results as quickly as possible. And in football, the good thing is we've got a game in 2 days, which is still fresh in our minds the other night. So we want to win for our own sake as well. And then also when you're representing Tottenham Hotspur, you want to win. We know it's a big game. They've got something riding on it. We have as well. So we know the importance of the game. So in terms of extra motivation, no. The motivation is to win a game of football, and that is always the case.
How will you look back on your time in charge? I mean, it's been a mixture of results, but then also you've had lots of difficult questions from us lot, Super League, Harry Kane, all this stuff. You know, if you go into an interview to be a head coach somewhere else, you can probably tick off how to handle the media. You've had some difficult situations to deal with, but how will you look back on your time in charge on the pitch, but also off the pitch as well?
I think that question I'll probably answer in the summer or a bit further down the line when I do actually reflect, because at the moment my mind hasn't really thought of that. All the stuff you spoke about, it comes with being in this role. I respect you guys have got a job to do. I understand it. I've been involved in the media as well, so I know what it's like. It's not a problem. It's normal. It's normal. The most important thing when you're in this role is that you take care of business on the football pitch. We've had a short time to try and change some stuff quite a lot. We feel like we have, but unfortunately, in key moments in a couple of the games, have gone against us, and ultimately you're judged on results. And Wednesday night was very disappointing. Not for me, because I don't have an ego. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing it for Tottenham Hotspur, and it was a disappointing evening for everyone associated with the club. And the most important thing now is we try and bounce back at the weekend. In terms of me and my career and stuff, yes, there's stuff I've learned, of course. I'd be crazy and silly not to take some things, but in terms of reflection, I think it's something not to think about right now.
And for the weekend game, obviously there's still stuff on the line for Tottenham Hotspur, European qualification. Obviously, you would prefer to perhaps qualify for the Europa League, but would it be satisfactory if Tottenham were to qualify for the Conference League?
I think we want to win. We want to win, and then we'll see where we end up. The first priority is to win. Unfortunately, the other night damaged us a little bit in terms of it's not in our control now, certain things. So we're disappointed with that. But now we have to bounce back and firstly take care of the weekend and the weekend's result. And like I say, if we win, then we'll see where we end up next season.
And just a final one from me on something slightly different. We've seen the Met Police investigation into online hate. They've made a couple of arrests. And obviously, we can't talk about the specifics of the case, but obviously Tottenham players have been the target of online hate this season. Do you welcome authorities taking steps to try and stop this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think it's just been Tottenham players either. I think it's a lot of people, not just footballers, people in society as well. So I'm happy that something's been taken into consideration. There's some accountability for certain actions, and hopefully going forward, these things can get a lot stricter.
Thank you, David. Ian Abrahams.
Hi, Ryan. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks.
Last game as manager of Spurs. Would you claim it was a success?
Sorry, Ian, can you repeat that, please?
Your last game as manager of Spurs coming up. Would you claim your period in time has been a success?
Listen, we've still got another game at the weekend to judge that. I really believe we've made some changes that will help us go forward. I really believe that. In terms of a success, we'll see. We'll see what the weekend brings up. I think the most important people to answer that question are probably the board, the fans, the feeling, the players. Of course, I have my opinions on what we've done as a coaching team, as coaching staff, and I believe we've changed some stuff and helped the group as well. So, like I go back to the most important thing in this role, or when you're coaching a team, is the results. And the other night was a dent. It was tough to take. It was disappointing, but we need to bounce back and get a good feeling at the weekend come Sunday evening.
There's a lot of negativity around a lot of football clubs right now, including Tottenham, who were top at one stage and may now only finish as high as seventh. Do you understand the fans' view on that? I mean, I asked Mikel Arteta if Arsenal's season had been an acceptable one, finishing seventh. He said no. So it'd be interesting what your opinion is on Spurs on that front.
Yeah, I agree. Frustrating, obviously disappointing. We don't want to be where we are now. I've no shame in saying that. Absolutely, we as a club we want to aim for better things. I know the chairman has mentioned some things in recent days about the direction we want to go as a football club come next season. So we'll get the weekend out the way and hopefully win that game of football. And like I say, we'll see where we finish up. But of course, we don't want to be where we are. There's absolutely no problem with saying that. I understand the frustration with our fans, but it's important the fans know that our players are feeling that too. We know that we don't want to be where we are. So, of course, it's been a disappointing campaign in in the way that it's panned out in the end.
The last one from me, in terms of Spurs' future not being in this position in 12 months' time, how much of a rebuilding of the team does there have to be? There are all those years under Pochettino where it was basically the same squad after year. Didn't change actually that much, to be fair, under Mourinho. How much does it need to be changed a lot this summer, regardless of what happens with Harry?
I think things will happen in the summer because there's a managerial place that needs to be taken. So firstly, I'm sure that will happen. And then, like I say, to echo the chairman's words about getting back to the DNA of this football club, and it's important you build something. All successful clubs recently, and as years gone by, have had time to build something. They've wanted to go in a certain direction and work a certain way. And yeah, I agree with the chairman. I think we do need to build something, definitely, and hopefully we will. These things can take time sometimes. Sometimes they can be quick. You look at a team like Liverpool, for example. I think they've finished 8th twice in the last decade. But under Jurgen Klopp, that time they built something. They won the league, and the feeling is different. So this football club, we have foundations there to build something, and hopefully that can happen.
Okay, thank you, Moose. We're going to move on to Olivia from PLP.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
You know, that performance midweek. What can you put your finger on what those inconsistencies are down to?
No, I can't really. I mean, these moments in games where I think if we break down the game the other day, the first 20 minutes, I think we had the best part of 70% possession. They didn't have a shot on our target. We was in control of the match. We was 1-0 up, and then an unfortunate moment with the own goal, it changes the momentum. The feeling is different. And I think we're trying to work in a way now that is probably different to what we've been working under the previous management. So these things take time to stay disciplined at and not lose our shape or not lose our structure and things like that. So these moments in football, they're crucial. I spoke about the Leeds moment with the offside, and these moments, they change the whole dynamic of a game of football. And I believe the other night we lost our way for 20 minutes after the own goal, after that situation. And then we give them another goal on the stroke of half time as well. So to give 2 goals away in the Premier League, it becomes difficult to turn it around after that.
And a word on Leicester as well. You know, they've been brilliant this season. They are where they are in the league for a reason. What sort of challenge do they pose you this weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge. They won the FA Cup, so I'm sure they're on a bit of a high from that. And then obviously they had their midweek game as well, which I'm sure was disappointing for them. So there's a lot riding on this game. We know that. We respect them. They work in a very good way. They've got a really good manager. And like you say, they've had a good season as well. So, yeah, it's a difficult match, definitely. I think it'd be a difficult match for both teams. So it's important we go there with the belief to come out on top.
And just finally, I know you said you don't want to talk about, you know, your role as manager until after Sunday, but if you could just tell us how much you've enjoyed, you know, stepping up and taking on this role as the club that, you know, you love and you support and you played for.
Yeah, I have immense pride. I mean, to be given this opportunity to represent the club in the role that I'm in at the moment is very flattering. It's one of the best jobs in Europe. And to be given that responsibility is a big deal. So I've enjoyed it. I wish we could have had some more positive results. Obviously, we've had a few at home. We've put ourselves in a position now where we have to go into the weekend and win a game of football. So once that game's out the way and hopefully we get 3 points, then maybe I'll be able to sit down and speak to some family members and really enjoy the experience. But at the moment, yeah, it's been crazy, but also it's been something that I've fully enjoyed as well.
Okay, thanks, Olivia. We'll go to George Cummins.
Thanks, Simon. Hello, Ryan. Ryan, sorry, in this latest interview Harry's Kane's done, he said he wants to play with Kevin De Bruyne. So is this where his future is going to be, Man City?
Oh, like I said, I wasn't aware of that because I've not heard it, but I'd love to play with Kevin De Bruyne as well. I think every footballer in the world, every footballer in the Premier League is an exceptional player. And from what I know, I've spoken to him a few times, he's an exceptional person as well. So I think if you ask any footballer in world football right now, would you like to play with Kevin De Bruyne? I think they'd say yes.
And just, do you know what's going to happen with Gareth Bale? Will he be any chance of him coming back to Tottenham next season?
I'm not sure. I've not had those conversations. We'll probably, or the club will have those conversations at the end of the season. But after this game at the weekend, then he goes back to his parent club. He's a Real Madrid player. So these conversations, these situations, I'm not sure of. I just know that hopefully he's going to help us at the weekend.
Thanks, George. Ali Gold.
Hey there, Ryan. Just first off, I wanted to ask you about injury news. Obviously, Jaffet went off with what looked like a serious injury on Wednesday.
Yeah, so Jaff and Ben are the only two at the moment. Jaff sustained naughty ankle injury, I think, to his ligament, so he won't feature at the weekend, and hopefully it isn't too long for him out. But Ben resumed some light training today, so they're the only two at the moment that aren't available for selection.
Can I just ask you, obviously, finances are tough for a lot of clubs in football right now. You know, they've lost all the revenues of the last year with the match day income and everything. How difficult do you think it's going to be for the next manager, whoever that may be at Tottenham, to stamp their own mark on this football club, maybe bring in new players without selling any in the first place?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I can't really answer that question because I don't know the situation with finances. I don't know who's going to come in. I don't know who's going to go out. I think the most important thing probably is who's the manager, because then they will have the conversations of the direction in terms of recruitment or what players they're happy with. And these types of conversations, I'm sure, will happen in the summer. And like I said, I go back to the chairman's comments. He said he wants to get back to the DNA of this football club, and hopefully that will happen. I know the chairman cares about that, so hopefully we can build something and be successful.
Can I just ask, you mentioned earlier that you've learned stuff during this period as interim head coach. What have you learned?
Lots. I'm learning every day. I learn so much stuff, even when I'm in my kids in the garden. I'm learning stuff about how to act with them. So it's normal as people that we keep learning. There's so much I've learned. Of course, I'd be very, very silly if I didn't take some things from this experience. A lot's happened in these 5 weeks, like a hell of a lot, to be honest. And I feel like it's something that maybe once the season's over, I'll sit and I'll reflect and, okay, could I have done this better or could I have done that better? But in the moment, I feel like I've handled it with instinct. And I think that's the key thing to take from it. You've got to go with what you feel and what you believe in within those moments.
Thanks, Sally. Thank you, Patrick.
Hi, Ryan. Your predecessor, Jose Mourinho, was quite critical last season of Tanguy Ndombele's fitness and his attitude. Obviously, you haven't been starting Tanguy in most games. I think he only started in your first game. He is the club record signing. I think we all kind of know he's a very talented player. Have you had a problem at all with his fitness or attitude? And if not, can you talk us through kind of why you haven't been starting him?
No, I'm not gonna. I don't think that there's another 10 or 11 players that haven't been starting in some games as well. So I don't think it's right to single out one player and explain my reasoning behind it. The players, the group have worked hard. They've really worked hard, and I think going forward as well, they want to work hard. They want to train in a way that prepares them to play in the Premier League at maximal capacity. So that's the most important thing. I think, yeah, these 5 weeks, I can't speak about what's happened before because I wasn't involved. I do know that the last 5 weeks, the players have been professional. They've wanted to work and they've enjoyed working as well. And I'm sure I can speak on behalf of any footballer. You want that to be in place.
Okay, thanks, Dan. We'll finish with Jonathan Ville.
Hi, Ryan. It's obviously a big summer for Gareth Bale with Wales and the Euros and everything. I think a few fans have thought perhaps that he's got one eye on that and he's not been fully committed to the team. Have you seen that at all? And in your mind, is he in contention to start on Sunday?
No, I completely disagree with that. Personally, Gareth's. Listen, I can only speak of my experience in this last 5 weeks with Gareth. He scored 4 goals for this football club in that time. It's been excellent. Last weekend, I think, was the most minutes he's played in the Premier League all season, pushing close to 90 minutes. I think if you were to look at Gareth in that moment, he looked fit, he looked strong. He was brave. He added a different dimension for us, and he has severe quality as well. But that spike in terms of the minutes played, he felt his quad. In terms of him thinking about the summer, I don't believe so, because he was out there the other night. He was playing through some pain, playing through a problem he had for me, for himself, and for the football club. So in terms of Gareth's commitment, Gareth's quality, I think his commitment's been fully there in this moment that I've been here. And in terms of his quality is never going to leave him. I think you see that every time he's on the football pitch.
Cool. And after Sunday's game, are you planning on having a debrief with chairman? And will you feed back to him what you perhaps think the squad needs in the summer and which players you might think should leave?
No. My plan is the weekend, and then our season's done. I'm here for anyone if anyone wants to speak, but there's nothing planned, nothing in place at the moment. So my main focus on our focus as a football club is the game at the weekend at this moment in time.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Jonathan. We're going to move on to the